to get started here, let's go in and let's just start off by deleting the stuff in my scene here. And what I want to do is I want to go to annotation, and I'm just going to try to draw this out in terms of the game plan. I've already done measurements and everything, so you guys kind of have an idea of what we're going to do. So I'm just going to sketch this out real quick. There's like a little bendable neck on this thing. I guess there's like a wire in it, and then it comes out, and then there's like a thicker piece in the back, and then it tapers down smaller in the front. So something like this. There's a light that shines below there. It's a little LED piece there. It's more or less like a slit, and then there's like a little heavier base right here. It's not very thick at all. It's like a little base. It's not as thick as even I'm drawing it. And then there's like a little beveled edge right here where the wire comes out. And then there's like a little metal ring that's right here that the user touches it with their hands, and it changes the light values to like 3 steps. So it's like a bright, and then a medium light, and then a low light, like a desk light. And what I want to do is when we model this thing, I want to get all the edges and everything right. But also what I'm going to do, because it's just like little cheap plastic, I'm going to take it, and I'm even going to model in the seams. I'm going to try to make this one look as realistic as possible without going too crazy with detail. So this is the overall look of this thing, right? So I've got measurements. So let me see if I can get this down for you guys just to give you an idea. I just want it recorded for the video. So from here to here in the head of it, that length is about 5 1/4 inches. Make my deal here a little bit more pronounced. The height here, I'm going to call this H2 because there will be an H1. The second height, which is the front of it, this is 0.5 inches. The back here, which is just not really the width of it, but the height. Give me a second here, because the way I drew it can be confusing. So really it's this back part here, the height here. I'm gonna call this H1 for height 1, and what I got down here is 3/4 of an inch. The length of the neck is 12 inches. And let's see what else we got, y'all. So let's go with the height of this base here. This was 1/2 inch. And the length here of this guy was 4.5 inches. So 4.5 inches. And the width, so if we say from here to here, that was 4 1/4 inches. So the reason why I'm showing you guys this, zoom out a little bit so we can get everything in the view. The reason why I'm showing you guys all of this is what we're going to build. These are dimensions and the measurements we're going to use to build this model out. Okay, we're going to start off by making the base. So let's go ahead and bring in a cube primitive. And what I want to do here is I'm going to bring out my end panel. Go up here to item, and then what I want to focus on is the dimensions down here. So I'm going to go back to my notes that I made, and I want to plug in the dimensions for the cube. So we're looking at front ortho. So the width is going to be the x-axis, the way we have it, and I have 4.25 inches, right? And then we have the y, which will be the length in this case, and it's 4.5 or 4.5 inches. And then the z-axis is basically the height of it. So I have 0.5 inches. And that is the main dimensions of the space. So now if we notice, our scale here is out of whack. So what I want to do is hit Command A, and then I want to go ahead and set scale. So this is the basic part here of the base. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to get mainly the main shape that we want out of this. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go here I want to select all of these corners, these vertical corners of the shape, this cube that we just brought in. And let me go to top view, and I want to bevel them. I want to bring them in quite a bit, not too much. And then I want to add a segment like so, and then just kind of play with it, get it about like that. And we have a big giant N-gon at the moment, but that's okay because we're going to fix that. And what I want to do is I want to tie these verts together, connect these guys up. Then I'm going to go on the bottom here and do the same thing. And then connect these up here. So we can have good quad topology, which will allow us to make edge loops without a bunch of headaches. Okay. So another thing I'd like to do is if when I'm looking at the actual base, I can see a seam in the middle where the two pieces of plastic were put together. So right now I just want to put an edge loop there. Also, I want to put another edge loop here because we're going to use it to kind of help us adjust the shape of this thing. And do the same thing on the bottom. And what I want to do is go to edge select mode, and I want to grab this edge right here at the top. And I'm just going to start with the top one because it is different than the one at the bottom. And I want to hit the scale option, and I want to bring it in just a little bit, like so, about something like that. Okay. And another thing I want to do here is, because I can see it on the actual object, I want to go ahead and run a bevel on this selection here, this edge. And I'm going to set it to a shape of 1. And I'm going to do an arc outer, miter outer. And then on the bottom, I'm going to grab that one. And I'm going to do the same thing, but nowhere near as much. I'm just going to taper it in just a little bit. And I don't need to put the bevel on here. And you know what? On second thought, let me just put a little bevel on here. A little bit of bevel. And I do want this one at 0.5. And everything else looks good. Okay. So now that we have that done, let's go back here to this edge that we had here in the middle. The one I was saying that separated the plastic. And then what I want to do here is I want to bevel that edge. I'll make it really small though. And I want a segment of 1, like so. And then what I want to do here, let me zoom in so you guys can see it, come in like a little angle. What I want to do here is I want to extrude it along the normals. And I want to take it in just a little bit. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. And then I want to come in here, and these edges that make up that extrusion, I want to select all those edges. So there should be 4 that we're grabbing in there. Like so. And then I want to put a shape 1, segment 2 bevel on those, on all of those. But it just needs to be a small little bevel. So go here, go to segments of 2, shape of 1, miter outer arc, and then we're good to go. And that looks good. We can come in later and add more topology to kind of fill it in, but right now I'm just focusing on that basic shape. And just to test this out, let's run a level 3 sub D on it. Oh yeah, look at that. That's exactly what we wanted. So this pretty much is our base. Okay. I'll go ahead and back out of that because we don't really need it turned on right now. So a couple things we need to figure out. We need to figure out, because the neck comes out right here, it protrudes out from here. We need to figure out how to get like a little beveled area there. And then we need to determine where we're going to put the sensor. But the sensor is going to be super easy. All right. So first of all, before we deal with the sensor, let's go ahead and model in the place where we're going to protrude the neck out from. So one way to handle that is go to the top view here, and let's go to edge edit mode, And I would say that it should be, looking at the actual item, it should be about right in here where my cursor is. So what I want to do is have my cursor here, not the 3D cursor, but my mouse cursor, and hit Command R. Oh, here we go. And then I'm going to move it up there to roughly that area where I think it should be. Right? And I'm going to drop a loop cut there. Then I'm going to come here right in the middle and drop another loop cut dead center here. And then I'm going to come offset from that to the left, drop another one. Actually, let me show you a better way than what I just showed you. So drop one in the center and add 2 more. That way they'll be equally separated. And then what I want to do is come back in here and let's just go ahead and drop some loop cuts in here and be done with it. Okay. Because we're going to have to do this anyway. So I just figured we'd just do this now. So that'll work. Okay. That looks good. Okay. So what I want to do here is I want to go to face selection mode and I want to select these faces here because this is within the realm of the area where this protrusion is. And I want to inset these in. I want to inset them quite a bit actually. Now notice it looks like they're insetting on the y-axis faster than they are on the x-axis, and that's okay. This hole doesn't need to be big because his neck is not going to be real big. So I'm going to click it here and then I'm going to size it on X, and I'm just going to bring the X in because I want to get it a little bit more square looking, like so. And then I'm going to right click on that selection, go to Loop Tools and Circle. And then that gives me my Loop Tools circle. And then from here, what I want to do is I want to extrude this up. I promise you, it's going straight up on Z. You're just seeing camera perspective in the viewport, as you can see. And what we want to do is, because it tapers in a little bit, I just want to scale this in like so. And actually, I can bring it down quite a bit too. Doesn't need to be so high. Something about right in there. And I want to now inset again. Doesn't need to be a whole lot. And then I want to extrude it back down like so. And let's go to edge selection. And I'm just selecting all these edges in here. I notice I'm not selecting that outer edge because you're going to see we're going to treat it a little differently. And what I want to do here, oh, I didn't get everybody. Hold on. You should always double check your selections here. A lot of times when you have a shape like this, where it's like a cross in the middle of the selection, it doesn't grab everything. Blender doesn't grab everything all the time, even if you hit the Alt key, so just double check. And let's go ahead and bevel these guys here. Small little bevel. And I can make these 0.5 because I like a little roundness to them. And now that's good. Let's select all of these around here. And actually, let me run sub D on this level 3 again. And I want to see how much of an edge I need to put on here to control it. I need some, but don't need a lot. So let's turn it off. Sub D, that is. Let's grab. Okay, so we already got it. All right, so turn sub D back on, and I want to hit the. I want to try to crease this. I just want to see what it looks like. I just want to tighten it just down a little bit. About like that. I think that's it. So if I go back to edge select, it's 0.33 or 33% of edge mean crease on that section there. And I think that nails it. So now let's go back in here. Let's disable sub D. Let me go back in here since I'm in here, and let's put some cuts in here. Let's see, about 2 cuts, and put a couple cuts here. Turn sub D back on. Make sure it's not screwing up my shape too. Yeah, it's screwing up my shape a little bit. All right. I'm gonna back out. I'm gonna leave the cuts on the outside alone. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're good. We're good. All right. So let's go ahead and do shade smooth. and save the file. And we're pretty much done modeling out the base. So there's the base. So now the next thing to figure out is where do I want to put the sensor? So in looking at the model, the sensor would be in this area here. So what I'm going to do is going to face select all 4 of these these faces here, and I'm going to go cursor to select it, because it's going to dump it right there in the middle. And then I'm going back to object mode, because what we're not going to do, we're not going to build the sensor out of this shape. We're just going to bring in another mesh primitive and just parent it here. So I'm going to bring in a circle and then go from there. All right, so 32 vertices. I don't think I need that much, so let's take this down to 16. And let's scale this down quite a bit. Doesn't need to be anywhere near that big. Keep going and going and going. There it is. Okay. Now, on YouTube, you probably can't see it. You probably can't see the circle. I've got it kind of a muted color on my display, but with YouTube's compression, you probably can't see it at all until I actually go into edit mode. So let's go back in there and do that. I'm sure you can see it now because I've been able to see it on other videos. And what I want to do with this is just scale this down. It needs to be about the same size, slightly bigger than the protrusion where that neck's going to come out. So given that we've got this all selected, I'm going to hit ENS and I want to bring it in like so. And I want to select everything here. And I'm going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude it down into the geometry, not up. I'm going to go down. Okay. Select everything. And let's come back on the side view. Let's go to X-ray mode. And what I want to do is I want to slowly bring this up so it's just barely above those faces on the base. Okay, turn X-ray off, about like that. And let's check the normals, because a lot of times I've seen it when I extrude like that, the normals are reversed. So no, normals look good. We're great there. Okay, and what I want to do now with this shape is I'm just going to run a loop there. Let's look at the shape by itself, and let's run a loop here. One loop here, and then one loop here, and then one loop on the inside. Yeah. Okay. And let's now run a level 3 on this on the sensor, and let's shade smooth. And let me zoom in real good. Oh yeah. Let me change my clipping here again. Yeah, so let's zoom in and take a look at it and see if I need to put a hard edge on it. I don't think so, because when you look at the actual item, it bevels over pretty nice like that, just like we see here. So that's why we never put a hard edge bevel on the edges of this. Let me select it and then try it. That's why we never put a hard edge here or in the inside. So I just want to make you guys mindful of that. So before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's go ahead and name some stuff here. I'm gonna call this model base, and I'm going to call this model sensor. And I want to select them both, and I'm going to put them in a collection called model.deskLight or desk.light, like so. And I want to select model base first. And I'm hitting control to make sure that the model base is the yellow option. It's the one that's designated as the parent. And then on my Blender, the model.sensor is the one that's going to get parented. So now I'm going to hit Control P and object. So now the sensor is parented to the base. All right, so now that's done. So now we're done with the base and we're done with the sensor. So now we're going to move on to the neck area. We're going to create the neck. We're going to protrude the neck up from here. And then from there, we're going to create the light assembly piece, and then we're going to be done. So stay tuned. Okay, so we know that this neck is going to be 12 inches or a foot in length in total. So what I want to do is I want to come back down here. I want to select this edge here, even though you can't see it because sub D is on, and I want to go and move my cursor to select it. And as you can see, the cursor is right down here at the very bottom of this here. And let's go to the side view. Let's turn X-ray mode on because you're going to see what we're going to do here. We move the end panel out of the way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here into curves, and I'm going to create, we got to scroll up. I'm going to create a single point polycurve, which you guys should see. And if you don't see it, you have to enable the extra curve objects in the add-on section of Blender. And I'm sure you guys know how to do that. So I'm not going to stop the video to show you. If for whatever reason you just got the question, it's easy. Just leave them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to walk you through it. Or even better yet, just, send you a video where somebody discusses that so you can actually see it and do it with them. Okay, so I've got a single point here for a curve. Now I'm going to extrude this on Z all the way up. And all I care about is just creating a segment at the moment. Let's bring the end panel back out. And I want to look at this right here. If you look at Z, this is basically how tall this segment is. So I want 12 inches. I'm going to plug that in. And as you can see now, it got much bigger. I mean, it looks just way too big. Like, you would think that the neck of this lamp is going to be this long. But here's the thing, that's the total length of it. So that means even when you bend it, and it's got little bends in between, it was exactly a foot. So it's not going to look that long once we do our bends and all that good stuff. But what we want to do is get the total length in there first and then work our way backwards. So let me save my file, and let's select the entire segment here. And I'm going to right click and hit subdivide. That's going to create another point here. And I'm just going to move it up because I want about maybe about this much for the neck to bend, because I don't want the lamp to go any higher than this. And then I'm going to take this one here and I'm going to just move it like so out to about, let's say about right. I'm going to do about right here. Okay. I'm going to look at it from the front and see we're still straight, because this is why I like to work in orthographic view. It's because it keeps us from having weird perspective and on things when we move them. I'm going to come here and I'm going to subdivide this again. So now we have an additional. And then from here, I'm going to go to the front view. And what I want to do is I just want to bring this over to the left a little bit on the x-axis. And I'm going to take this one up near the top, and I'm going to move him to the right on the x-axis just a little bit, just so we have like this kind of cool like little bend in here in our curve. Okay, and then I want to select the entire curve, and I want to go down to the data tab for curves. I want to hit 3D. I'm going to change this resolution to 16. And I want to go down to the geometry tab, and under where it says round is selected, I want to change the resolution to 16 here, and I'm going to start playing with the depth. See, so now we got something that looks right. Now here's something we have to be mindful of. Let's get out of X-ray mode, but we're still in edit mode for this curve. Let's scroll down, and I want to be mindful of the diameter of this hole. So let's bring this curve down quite a bit to about probably, let's see, 0.003. I'm gonna manually go in there and try 0.002 meters. You can even change that to inches if you want it. Okay, let's do 2.8. Let's do 2.6. I'm just kind of eyeballing it and figuring this piece out as I go. I didn't pre-measure this before the video. Yeah, this is pretty good. And I like this little, so small, but I like this little gap here. It's going to add a shadow there when we get done. Let's do one other thing too, because this is now bending this a little bit in here. Let's go from this segment to this segment and let's subdivide again. And I'm gonna grab this one here. Excuse me. What I want to do here is I want to just straighten this back up. So I'm gonna bring this back. Actually, let me look at one. Yeah, here's where the bend happened. I want to bring this back and straighten it up. So I'm gonna hit that one vertices. I'm gonna hit G and X, and I just want to bring him back more centered. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna straighten up the part of this curve that goes down into the base, so you don't have that weird bend there. And that basically is our neck. So now what we need to do is we need to do some refinement, because this doesn't look very nice. It's just hard cut right here. So what we want to do is go back into the neck. I want to grab this vertices here, and you can actually bevel these, which is nice. And it rounds them off. So but you guys are going to see that I use a plugin called Curve Machine. It is part of the Machine Tool suite. I can't recommend it enough, and they are not paying me to say that. It's just it saves so much time, and it does work pretty much every time you use it as you expect. You don't get those weird, surprises. So highly recommend it. But I'm gonna hit Control B. And you see, I get like a menu here, if you will, and I can just start dragging across, and I can do really nice transitions between my bends and my curves, like so. It's very easy. If you guys don't have this tool, you can still bevel the curves, but Vanilla Blender is just not as. I'm not knocking it, but it's just not quite as nice as this. And I know some people, just think, oh, you guys are cheating. You're using plugins. I didn't always use plugins. But when I started doing this for a living, and I started taking on work and creating models for companies and their products, having a plugin that can save me a lot of time became a massive asset. So I'm a big proponent of it. Let's do one other thing, because this little tip here, I want to kind of flatten him out. So let's grab this one, and let's subdivide this. That's going to give us this one here. Let's go to 3. I'm going to take the one on the edge, and then I'm going to bring it down on Z, and I'm going to get it as flat as I can get it. And granted, I'm just eyeballing it. And let's bevel this one, just like we did with the others. And you just want a nice, so I can roll the mouse wheel and figure out how much bevel I want. It's just nice. Actually, let me do a little bit more. I want it a little bit smoother. About like that. All right. So now we can see what our neck is going to look like on this lamp. Okay. And it is a long neck, but that's what it looks like. And next thing, if we're happy with this, and I'm happy with this, what I want to do is I want to go to Object and Convert, and I want to convert this into a mesh. So now that makes a mesh. We're going to call it model.neck, and we're going to move it to our collection. Actually, I just thought of something. Let me color that so I can see it. And now we have base and neck. And I want to select those two, and then parent neck into base. So as we move one, we'll move one thing, the whole thing moves. Because I'm not going to move the neck anymore. Now, if I was animating the neck or something like this, I may have left it a curve, but this is just a model. I'm not animating any of it, so not a big deal. I'm gonna come back in here and edit this. I'll put some loop cuts in here. This little area right here, bunch of long faces, put some cuts here. This area here, bunch of long faces, do the same thing. Okay? Just like that. And if I wanted to be totally like OCD about it, I could come in here and I could get rid of all of these. You know what? Just to show you, let's just do it. Normally I wouldn't worry about it because you're not going to see this anyway. But just for the sake of the video, for those of you who want to see how to do this, I'm going to come in here because I don't like this topology, even though there's nothing wrong with it. I want to blow all of this out and delete it. So I'm going to delete these faces. I'm going to come here with the edge select. And I want to grid fill this instead. So you can grid fill this if you like. Not a big deal. I mean, you get the same thing. Now with grid fill, you get like this weird, let me go back once. You get like kind of this weird thing here. So you want to put a like a inset here. So make that transition a little nicer. And I may want to come here and do like a support loop and bring it down to here. But other than that, there you go. Now you got nice topology all the way across. Okay. All right. So given that, let's look at this for a second. And I'm going to go in here. I'm going to select the area that's right in the center. And I'm going to move my 3D cursor up there to it because now we're going to start working on the assembly piece. And in looking at the assembly piece, it's essentially a big giant cube. So I'm going to bring in another cube. And I'm not so worried about the size of it at the moment because we got measurements for it as well. So keep in mind we're now on the side view, and the length is going to be, which is going to be Y, is 5 1/4 or 5.25 inches. And you can see stuff happening when I make a change. The width, which is X, is going to be 2.0 inches. And the height, which is going to be Z, is I have 1/2 inch or 0.5 inch. All right. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So this is the whole length of it. Now we're going to have to move it, but that's the whole length. And remember, you got to apply scale. So what I want to do, go back out to the side. I want to run X-ray mode, and I want to move it on Y. And zoom in a little bit more so we can all see. And I'm gonna let that curve eat into the box just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm gonna turn off X-ray, you can see what I mean. So like that curve goes right up into it. Let me move 3D cursor out of the way. It goes right into it, and this is kind of how I want to leave it. So right now we have this giant cube. Up under this cube is gonna be the light. And but it's not just a box, it's not how it looks. It has a little bit of a shape to it. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna kind of walk you guys through some of that shape. So let's start with the basic building blocks first. So this is kind of tapered in at the back. So I'm gonna hit G and Y. We're gonna have to move it again, that's fine, but just want to bring it to your attention. Actually, before I do that, let me back up. Let me put a loop cut here in the center. And we're gonna offset it up here. And then I'm gonna go back and do this piece here. And you're gonna see why I said that. Yeah, so see, it keeps this top part up here straight, and we only move this piece here because this is what the light looks like. And then on the front, it's something similar, but it's just not as much. So I'm gonna grab that edge there, go back here. Okay. And then what I want to do on the front here is I want to grab these two edges, go back to this view here, and then I'm going to bring them down on Z. Like so. About right there. And then because there's a little bit of a bend in here, I want to bring in a loop cut here in the center. I just want to grab this guy here, and then I'm going to go up on Z. Just on the top. Doesn't need to be a whole lot. I just want to kind of show it here. And let's see, let's grab this whole piece here because I think the way I want to handle this is I just want to bevel all of this. Let's see if this works. If it don't work, I'll back up and do something else. But yeah, that's exactly what I want because it kept the bottom straight, but it tapered off the top pretty nice. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Okay. So now that that's done, now we need to run an edge loop here in the center. So let's just do a few cuts here. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. And you'll see where we're going with this here in a second. Let's just go ahead and do our geo here. That's 4, 4. Let's do 2 back here, and then let's do 2 up here. Okay. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good looking there. And what I need to do now is figure out like how I want to run that light and how long I want to run it. So let's look at the bottom of this thing here. It doesn't need to be straight, doesn't need to be perfectly straight, but I'll get it as straight as I can for you guys without going on the bottom view. Actually, you know what? Hit Control 7, that gives you the bottom view. And let's get out of this mode here. You can see the base, just /, and now you only see the light. So we're looking at it directly at the bottom in orthographic view. So let's see. I'm taking a quick look at the actual real light. So I think what I want to do is about right here. I want to start the light, and I want to bring that lamp out to about right here. And let's move a 3D cursor here, which is going to put them in the center of these 2 selections here. And let's now go here, select these 2, and then select these 2. I think that's the same ones I had selected. And then I want to change the midpoint to 3D cursor, and then I want to scale. Basically, I'm bringing these down like so. Yeah, let's bring it down on Y. That way I don't get that weird bend on X. It's about like this. Okay. And then let's change this back to medium point. And now what this allows is this gives me some room here to grab some faces, which is essentially, this is what our light's going to be. So our light's going to be up under here. And to be honest with you, let me go back. I think I can actually make this a little bit longer. So give me 1 second, guys. Let me grab these 3 here and let's move them up on Y. I'll make this lamp a little bit longer. And then grab these 3 down here and bring them down on Y. Yeah. And then let's go back to face select mode. And let's do the following. I'm going to inset it. Very little, but just a little inset. And then I'm going to extrude it up into that housing or that assembly a little bit. And then I'm going to inset again. Just a little bit. I mean, just a little bit. And then I want to bring it back down. About like that. It's very, very subtle. But if you notice, even when I'm bringing it down to where it's still up in that housing. It doesn't come down past. Let me see if I can show you. It doesn't come down. The light doesn't come down past where the plastic is for the assembly. So then there's our light that's sculpted in there. So let's do a couple things while we're in here. Go to edge select mode. I want to grab all these edges. And I want to bevel them. Yep, all that looks good. 0.5 shape, 2 segments. I'm going to do the same thing here on the bottom. Okay. Okay, now here, this line here, we're going to do the same thing that we did on the base where we show like the seam between the plastic. So the way we want to handle this is I want to bevel this, very small bevel. I want 1 segment, not 2, like so. And I want a shape of 1. And then I want to come in here and then I want to extrude along the normals. Don't need to get crazy with it. I'll bring it in a little bit more than I did the other one. And then I want to go back to edge select. And I want to come down here and I want to select all of these edges that made up that extrusion. Like I said, it should be 4, just like it was on the base. And then we want to come in here and we want to do a very surgical bevel. Not what you just saw me do, but a very surgical bevel on these here. I'm just kind of looking in there, make sure I got everything right. Yeah, I think so. With a shape of 1. Okay. So now let's run level 3 sub D on this to see if we missed anything. I'd say this looks pretty good. The only thing I will notice here where the light is, we just need to run a support loop in here. Let's see if I can nail this for you guys. Uh-oh. Hold on. Let me get out of sub D. Let me disable sub D on this and I think I can get it. It's a little tricky up in here, but I don't need it, but I saw it and was like, yeah, it'd probably be good to have something in there. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. So just one little cut there. And now let's see if I can grab it on the light portion here. One little cut there. So yep, I got it. All right. So let's go back out, turn sub D back on. Yeah, so see it tightened up. It tightened up this little area right in here. A little bit, just a little bit. Okay, so now let's turn everybody back on. And now, technically we've modeled this light. We're done with the modeling of this. So the next phase of this video, I want to show you how to create shaders for it, or materials for it. And then we'll call it a day. All right, so stay tuned. So one of the first things I want to do before we start putting materials on this is I want to go ahead and create like a ground plane for this thing to sit on. And let's do, yeah, that's good. So let's select, because I don't need all these edges. I just want to grab these 2 edges here, bring them up on Z, bring them up high enough. And I want to select these edges here. I'm going to bevel them, Control B. You notice they look real stringent. That's because we got a shape of 1 on here. I'm gonna do 0.5 and see now they got nice little roundness here that it didn't have before. So we go from 1 all the way to 0.5. Now, if you notice, you bring 0.5 down to something less, it tapers it off even more gradually. It gets almost flat, see, like that. And then you can go into the negative with the bevel. So this is a good demonstration to show how this bevel works. So we're going to just leave it at 0.5. Just like the midway point. And let's see here. So that's pretty good. Now you'll see it looks very aggressive on my screen because I've got some settings turned on to where I can really see these corners. It just kind of helps me personally, but for you, it may not look like this. I also want to do shade smooth, turn that on. And notice, like I said, you still see it, but if I were to go up here and disable that, then you don't see the grid lines anymore. Let me take a look at something too. And I noticed my backdrop is, let me turn this back on so I can see. My backdrop is cutting into my base. So let me bring the backdrop down on Z. About like that. So as we zoom out, like so, we can see that the base is sitting here like it should. And do something about like, I'm gonna go ahead and start setting up the camera real quick. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. And let's see, 50 millimeters. I'm gonna bring it out to a wider field of view. It's about 41, a little over 41. Bring him up, and you'll see where I'm going with this here in a second. turn my composition on. All I need for this one is center. Yeah, something about like that. Okay. All right, so now let's go into the settings of the file. Let's get out of Eevee, go to cycles. And now we're not gonna have any light to start off with. So see, it's gonna be total darkness. So one thing I wanna do is, I wanna go in here, let me turn my Passepartout all the way up. One thing I wanna do is go in here and create, or add in an HDRI. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna click environment texture. Everything turns pink because that's Blender's way of letting you know that there's no file, an image file associated with what you tried to do. And I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna click on where my HDRIs are. And I think we can use a cover image. I call them cover image because they're usually like indoor shots. I use them a lot for product lighting. That was a little too bright. And here's the problem with me and HDRIs and me recording it. So if you look at a lot of my videos, I don't record myself doing this because I may go through like 5 or 6 of them before I find the one I really want. I'm gonna stop with this one because then it can get kind of crazy. I'm gonna turn the strength down to 0.7. Yeah, I think that's about what I want it to. Okay. So for now, let's go ahead and tackle the backdrop first. So let's go into the materials tab. Let's go to new. I'm gonna call it material dot backdrop. And what I want to do is I want to crank the roughness all the way up to 1. And another thing I want to do is I want to bring down the lightness of the color just a tad. I brought it down to like 0.516. That's all I changed. I didn't change saturation or the hue or anything. Save that out. And we're going to kind of do this in real time, if you will. Let me zoom in a little bit more here in cycles. We're going to just go ahead and do these shaders and or these materials and right out of cycles. This machine can handle it, so we're going to be good there. What you could do is you could run a subdivision on this because it'll smooth it out quite a bit. Actually, let's do a level 3 sub D. Now what it's going to do is it's going to taper up the edges and make the edges look kind of gnarly. But what you could do is you could go back to simple. And if you needed to, if you didn't need everything to be so detailed, you can hit adaptive subdivision. And that further away, I think the way that works is the further away it is from the camera, the less subdivision it applies to it. And so you're just not all that detail's not in RAM. But so I subdivided that backdrop and I just did a level 3 and just used simple, and see it tightened everything back up, but it still looks really good. And if you do Catmull Clark, that does all of the edge smoothing and everything. But I'm going to show you guys something. When you come out, the few things changes. One, this turns into a blob because we don't have any edge flow here, or not edge flow, but control of those edge loops. Which I know, for the sake of doing it, I mean, if we're going to do it, let's just do it right. Let's just go ahead and do it all the way. So what I'm going to do here, I selected all of these edges, these original edges here. And what I want to do is I just want to run a crease on them, seeing that tightens them up. The other thing we got to be mindful of is when I ran this and it did smooth everything out, I wanted this back here to be smooth. And notice in one of my videos, I described sub D, and what it does is almost like if you've got a hand that's partially closed, right? So like if you got like you ever seen somebody's hand, it looks like it's gripped almost, but it's relaxed. Imagine it relaxed. And then when you put sub D over that hand, it tightens it down even more, almost like a fist, because what it's trying to do, its purpose, it's trying to round everything off. So that's what you see happening from, let's see if I can do this right. Let me go back to this mode so I can show you. So from here, from this edge here, notice it gradually tapers upward. See, into the curve. It's a big giant spline is what it is. And what's happening is, because it's tapering up right here, notice it's eating into our base. But when we had it on simple, watch, don't have that problem. So if you want it to be real super duper smooth back here, you could either bevel this a tighter bevel, or if you want it to Catmull Clark algorithm on it, then all you have to do is, because we got all this stuff on this base, parent it. You could either move the light, or what I'm going to do, I'm gonna do a little bit of trickery here with the backdrop. I got the backdrop selected, and I'm gonna rotate it on X because we're looking at it from the side, and I'm just gonna get this part where it tapers as flat as I can get it, and then I'm just gonna drop it down. I'm gonna drop it down a good bit below that base, but then I'm gonna just slowly bring it up like so that when we render it, it doesn't look like the base is floating above the surface. Something about like that, I think, is about what we need. Yes, it's eating into it just a hair, so let me bring it down just a little bit. There's just a little bit of it in there. But, you know what? Hold on. Because I don't want to leave it like that and show that to you guys as how you should do it. You should be OCD about your work. Okay, I think we're good there. And let me do one thing while I'm in here before we go back to render view with my camera. Let's bring this camera out just a tad more. About like that. All right. So let's go back to render view and continue where we were. Yeah, that looks good. I'm good with it. Hope you guys are. So let's do this. Let's work from the bottom up. So I'm going to do the base material for which is going to be, most of the model is going to be comprised of this, because I'm going to call this material.base. And what I want to do is, I don't want black, but I want like a dark gray, if you will. And let me deselect it because I want to see what kind of lighting that's adding on there. Actually, lighting ain't too bad. I am going to add some detail to that. Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do it. Let me get out of here, out of camera view, and let me zoom in so I can see it with the lighting in the scene. We'll work like this for a little bit, and then we'll change things up. Okay, so I'm going to go out of timeline, go into shader editor. So here's that material. Another thing I want to do is I want to go in here and add a noise texture. I'll take the color and then I'm going to run it into, actually before I do that, because I don't want to run it into color, let's run a bump node in here, because all I want to do is fake it. So let's take the color and run it into the height of bump, run normal to normal. And as you can see, something just happened. You can see all this weird stuff. Now bump is basically fake displacement. We don't need real displacement here. This is just not a scenario where I really need it. So I can fake it. So let's do about 300 on bump. And actually, you know what? I think 300 might be a bit high. Let's do 200. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And then I would take the strength of the bump and just crank it down. About like, I don't know. Yeah, needs to be subtle. Kind of like a leathery, rubbery kind of look. That's what the material looks like, because it's kind of tacky to the touch. And I really don't need to play with the roughness or anything else, I don't think. I think we're good there. And like I said, I'm not trying to over-engineer this either, because the lamp, unless you're looking at it very close, like let's say for an animation or something, you're not going to see all that detail anyway. So I'm just putting it in here in the video just to kind of show you how to do it. So now let's go to the sensor, because this is going to be a different material. And I'm just creating different materials here. I could have put them in one and been done with it, but kind of doing this this way just to show you. Material sensor, metallic goes all the way up to 1. I think we can change this and make this a little bit brighter. And we're gonna crank down the roughness. That's about, it's a little shinier than that. I think that's about it there. So that was easy. So see, when you look at it, you get good reflection off of that. That looks pretty good. Okay. So let's come back out so you can see it a little bit context. And because the neck literally has the same material as the base, I'm just going to go here and select the material base. It will apply it to the neck. So that's done. And you're going to see we're going to do the materials a couple ways here, which is kind of cool. So same here. It's got the same material as the base. Boom, done. Now, you may be saying, hey, are we done? No, we're not quite done, but we're close. I'm going to go ahead and save my file because we have to put in the light. So let me drag this down so I can get a little bit more. Actually, let me turn off. Let me hide the backdrop. Actually, you know what? Let me do something that's so it's not so confusing looking here. Let's go down to render settings, go to film, go to transparent. There we go. There we go. So now you guys can see what I'm doing, because I'm gonna try to do it right here, as much of it in Eevee as possible. So I'm still getting the light from the, lighting from the HDRI, but you just don't see it. And I noticed one thing up here too. We never ran shade smooth on here. There we go. Now it's done. Make sure we do it on the neck as well, because I don't remember if I did it on the neck or not. All right, so we got to come back into modeling view real quick. Just do one little thing. I need to go to face selection mode, and I need to select all of these faces that we had used for the cutout for the lamp, the LED portion, and I need to select them. Not only do I need to select it, I need to disable sub D. So I need to get up in here and select these little corner pieces too, these little corner faces. All up in here in these little cracks and crevices. You're gonna see why in a second, if you don't already know. But you guys are very astute, so I'm sure you probably already know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. All right, just bear with me. I'm just gonna select all this. I'm taking my time so I don't go selecting a bunch of stuff I don't really want, because that sometimes takes more work trying to reselect that than it's worth. All right, we're almost there. All right. Okay. So just so we don't screw this up and have to do this again, I'm going to come back right here and I'm just going to call this, I'm going to hit assign. I'm going to call it lamp. I'm going to hit assign again just to make sure we got it. So that's the light. Now granted, we selected everything up to the point to where we have that that cut in there. Actually, let me just grab all of it. Let me just get it everything, because I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to do anything kind of halfway. I'm trying to be mindful of the fact you guys are watching this video, and I'm trying to be mindful of the fact I don't want this video to get too long. But at the same time, it's more important that I show you the right way of doing things versus doing any kind of possible shortcuts. Yeah, I don't need that and that or that one. I just want the light. So let's see, just make sure I got all the light. And I probably could have selected this and hit Command plus or Control plus on the numpad and gone up and selected it, probably would have been a smarter way of doing it. But I'm so used to, personally, I'm just so used to like meticulously selecting stuff just to make sure I've got the right thing. Because I've seen Command plus go wrong for me before and start grabbing stuff I don't want. But, you know, my topology on this thing is pretty good, so it shouldn't be a problem. But, you know, that's one reason why I just by default didn't do that. Okay, I think I got most of it. Yeah. So now I selected a part I did not want. Okay, so I think we're good. So let's assign this. And let's go back to cycles view for this. Let's turn on, just so everything looks right. Let's turn sub D back on for this section here. And what I want to do is I want to go back to materials because we got material base. I want to hit the plus, hit new. This is going to create a new material. I'm going to call this material dot lighting as an ing, and I'm gonna hit assign because we already have that selection. So now I can come back out into object view, and it's very faint, but if you notice, something looks different here. Let me turn the plane back on. So now, because now I don't have to worry about trying to select it. And see the plane, because we turned roughness all the way up, it's reflecting a lot of the light back on up here, so you can see it a little bit better now. So this ain't quite done. So let's tweak on the shader for this now. And it really doesn't matter unless the lamp is off. And if I really were doing this for like a product model, I would have created another layer over this, which would have been, I would basically have taken that selection, made a duplicate, made another object out of it, and would have called it lighting.glass or something like that. And it would have been like the glass or the plastic cover over that. And then we would have illuminated this original selection behind it like what we're about to do. And then that way you would have had a product shot where the light could have been off, and then you would not have seen the light illuminated, but you would have seen like the little covering there. I would have been that level of detail, but for the sake of the tutorial, we're just going to keep this thing lit all the time, so there's no need to do that. But I thought it was worth mentioning it to you guys either way. Okay. All right. So here is the material.lighting. This is going to be real easy, guys. I'm going to bring in an emission node right here. I also want to bring in a mix shader node because this is how you glue them together. I'm going to run the principal in the first one. I'm going to run the mix. I'm going to run the emission into the second node of the mix shader. And then I'm going to crank this bad boy up to probably, crank it up about 75. Actually, let's crank it up to 100. Oh, baby. Look at that. So it lit up. So let's go back to camera view. I don't think I need to make a lot of changes here. I'm also going back to my HDRI, and I'm going to crank down the world to about 0.5, and I want to see what kind of difference that makes. And that's a little bit much. Let's do 0.67. Yeah, that's good there. So save that. And another thing I want to do, just to give this some somewhat dramatic effect after we render it, is I want to go to compositing. I want to go to use nodes. Let's turn this down in the dope sheet, and let's move composite up, move this out. I'm gonna create a reroute here, which that's a node tools thing, how I did it, but you don't need node tools for this to work. But if you want node tools, all you literally have to do is enable it in the settings. What we need to do is we need to do a render so we can kind of see what this is going to look like, and I don't have to render the entire thing, but I probably will because there's not a whole lot of stuff going on here. The lighting, I think, is going to be the thing that takes the longest. This is a pretty fast machine. 32 gigs of RAM. This is MacBook Pro, Apple Silicon Max processor, so it's pretty beefy machine. Okay, let's stop the render here at 80 samples out of 512. That should be enough for us to see what we're doing here. We go here to view, let's go to fit. Yeah, so you got to do a full. I think you got to do a full render before you can see it. Let's go ahead and do a full render, and then I'll come back to the video here with us. All right, now this render is finished. Let's go back to the compositor, and now as you can see, we see the lamp in here. So right now nothing's changed. Let me close this little panel out here. As you can see, nothing's changed from what we had before we started rendering. I'm just going to kind of move these nodes out of the way so we can see what we're doing here a little bit better. Oop. Remove that reroute. All right, so what we want to do here is we want to add something in here, and the node that I'm looking for is glare. I'm gonna move it here, kind of offset. And as you see, something happened to the light here. So I want to go down to fog glow. So this gives that nice glowing effect that we usually see. And I'm gonna take the threshold and I'm gonna crank up the threshold because we got the light, we got the emission so high. We're gonna need a higher value in the threshold just so that light doesn't look ridiculous. And I'm just kind of eyeballing what I think looks good and looks more realistic than not. So about 47. Actually, let's see what 50 looks like. No, 50 is too much. Let's do 48. 48. So put it nice round number at 48. Let me see. Let's go high for the clarity there of that fog glow. Let me look between high and medium, see if I notice a difference. I actually like medium better. A little bit more of a glow on it. It's not as precise. High is almost too precise. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to render this again, and then we're going to wrap up the video. So let's go ahead and get the render started. And what I want to do so you guys can kind of see what happens here. I'll come back after the render is finished, and then you'll see that nice fog glow that gets applied in the compositor after the render. So see you in a second. All right, so render just finished, and you can see right here we're looking at the render preview at 100%, and you can clearly see that there's a really nice glowing effect here, and you can even see the light diffusing off of the neck here. And if we scroll down, get a nice little soft shadow, and then you can see how the light is reflected off of the sensor and off of the base plate. Yeah, that's it. So we're done, guys. You did another great video, and this was a fairly easy one and a fairly quick one, but you're getting there, and I'm very proud of y'all. If you like this type of content that I'm providing, like and subscribe, and yeah, and see you soon on the next one. Take care.